Hello Facebook, let's try again. Instagram's working. We're going to try again, and hopefully that's not coming up as a sales post anymore. Okay, so the really exciting bit is that I'm going to use flower fairies on this little jewellery box. So I think I'm going to get straight on with it. I absolutely love this one here. And can you see why I've picked the colours that I've picked and how they'll sit nicely now? I can see one person watching on Facebook, but that could be wrong. Ah, Roz, it's worked. Hurrah. Happy days. So for those of you on Facebook that missed the very, very start that wasn't working properly, we're working on the jewellery block, continuing to work on the jewellery box that I started painting last week. We have, I think, Tilden Flourish mould on the top, and I've used, my paper's dropped on the floor. I've used Botanical Imprint decoupage paper. Good, audio's good as well, happy days. I've got a little bit of peekaboo here. I've not cut the sections for my drawers yet, but I've also done them in the hanging sections. So really, really cute. Laurie, hello my lovely, how are you? And then I was just talking about using flower fairies. Fairy flowers. Flower fairies rolls off the tongue. And in particular, I really wanted to use this section here because I just felt the colours sat back so nicely. Let me move that across. I just thought they looked all nice and vintagey and tonal. So let's get going. These are the new smaller size transfers. So if you haven't transferred before, this is a really, really good way to get started. You know, a little jewellery box project or anything small. I did a photo album last week. There's a really, really good starting point if you haven't used transfers before. They're not all over patterns, so you can really select your pieces, cut them about, and get used to the feel of transfers, how they work, how they are to apply. So it's a really good starting point. Let's just pop that drawer back in. So you see why I've decided I'm going to show you the inside of this drawer. Can you see the stains? Just a little bit. I've tried cleaning them up. It just doesn't work. So that's why I've decided to add the decoupage paper. Pretty. Laurie, it's cute in the doors, isn't it? Yes, sweet. Okay, so I'm going to get that one out of my way and work out which part of the door this one's going to go on. And because it's up against the edge like that, what do you think? Should we go this way and wrap it round this side, or should we go this side so she's facing? I think it needs to go this way because then she's facing towards the front of the jewellery box. Is it just me that has these conversations in my head about the way things should be facing? I always think like that. So I'm going to just trim the bottom because we've got a bit of excess to get rid of. So just because it's on a nice straight edge, we can get that trimmed. Now, fair warning, about halfway into this, I might have to tell Gracie to go and get her ballet kit on. Daddy's on his way home, but he's not going to be home in time to get her ready. And then he's got to deal with it. So at the moment, she's hiding in the background. She's lurking. Yes, no, you don't have those conversations. Okay, so I'm going to start here because this is going to be where the handle goes. Can you see where I've got those little holes? That's where the handle sits. So, and as per usual, I don't give myself an easy task. Can you see all these grooves that I'm going to have to deal with? Yeah, great. Okay, let me lay it on its back. I want you to be able to see as much as I can show you. I probably shouldn't have put it back together again, but I wanted to show the whole piece. So what I'm going to do on this is I'm actually going to do it start at the front, and rather than press my whole transfer down, Laurie, yeah, Gracie's in the background on her trampoline. Oh, Credence, sorry, I'm not the only one. Inner voice, conversations. So yeah, I don't want this to crack really, so I'm going to attempt to do the grooves as I go along. Let's go for it. So take the backing paper off, and you carefully hold the edges where the transfer isn't, and let's get that placed right on that edge. Keep it nice and straight because we've cut the straight edge, which is handy. And I'm just going to press that front edge down because that's where I want it to stick first. And then I'm going to get my transfer stick. Now last week I actually used a teaspoon. So these smaller size transfers don't come with a tool. The larger tubes come with one of these sticks in, or you can get yourself one of these plastic transfer tools. But last week, as I said, if you are new to transferring and you haven't got a tool from before and you're starting off with these smaller ones, then actually a teaspoon works really, really well. Really well. So I'm going to get into that first groove. Lovely. I can see already that some of my transfer has already started to release, which is great, from that top sheet. Makes my life easier. You just have to work a little bit slowly because of all these grooves. There we go. Is that done? Just trying to see a little bit there still. I might just get my plastic one because it's got a finer edge. There we go. That's better. Happy days. Okay, I'm going to stand up so I can sort of hover over while I'm showing you what I'm doing. This is just so pretty. So we're going into that first groove. And then I'm going to just use my tool to work it across and into the next groove. And I'm going to work like that. So all these grooves are nice and even. I've not got any places where I need to worry about an uneven finish. It's all nice and even. And I'm going to push into that next groove. Let's just make sure. And can you see that this top sheet's already... It's going to take half an hour just to get in the grooves. I bet it's not, Roz. It's not. It's going on really well, actually. I can hear some really, really strange music in the background. Like something from a 80s computer game. Funny. Oh, it's so pretty. Can you hear the birds today? Birds, there's some kids playing in the background. There's a little bit of crying going on. And then there's some strange electro computer game music, which is very, very strange. So can you see, as I'm working, the top sheet's just coming away on its own, which is great because it means it's releasing properly. And then all we've got to do is do a nice burnish afterwards. So I'm going to do my next groove. I was keen to not have, I don't mind when transfers crack. Some people get really worried. And I know if you're looking for a really clean application, but you have to just work sometimes with the piece of furniture or the project that you've got. And I don't overly mind when things crack, but I didn't want this to crack so much. And these grooves are quite deep, so that's why I've chosen to apply this one in this manner. Because what you could do is just get your contact across the whole thing and then put your grooves in, but you would get more cracking that way. So we're just working our way along. See, Roz, not half an hour. I'm impressed. I did think it was going to take longer and be a bit more clumsy than this, actually. So I'm very pleased. To just grab a cloth to do my burnishing in a second. So this is painted with Paint Couture, and the pale pink is Vera at the Ballet, and the darker pink is one of my recipe colours. So it's a 50-50 mix, and I'm trying to remember. I think it's Vera at the Ballet, and There it is, it's right behind me. Vera at the Ballet and Sugar Plum. And we're just going to keep going. Can you see everything I'm doing okay? Yes. It looked like they were closer together. Well, you know, they are quite close. These little ones, just, they really, really go on nicely. And because there's not so much to manage, I suppose, as well. I'm glad it's not going to take me half an hour just to do this one. Gracie's got some friends from school that live 3 doors away, and they're on their climbing frame, and she's on hers, and they shout at each other. And a little bit of wing just came up, so I'm just going to move that over and get that on. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at that. Nice. Really pleased. Oh, hello from Chile. Hello there. Sorry, I've only just looked up and seen that. I'm so, so pleased that the colours sit how they are. And the way I've done that blend in the middle, it kind of highlights her, doesn't it? So pretty. Okay, so let's decide. I'm going to get my burnishing cloth in a second as well. And I just need to decide which fairy to do on the other side. So let's turn that around. Hello, Heather. How are you? Thank you. She's pretty. She is a pretty fairy. See, I really, really like this one on the swing. But I think... Oh, no, that might work, actually. I thought she was going to be too big. That might fit. Let's just see what else we've got. She's quite sweet. Oh, she's lovely as well, isn't she? She's quite tall. I think we're going to go with the one on the swing. I think she's... I don't really want to cut her wings off. And let me turn it around so you can see. She's just a little bit tall. I think she's going to look... The scale is not going to look quite right. Hello from Argentina. Instagram always seems far more international to me. Far more variety of viewers. Which is very exciting. And that pretty one as well is rather lovely. Heather, they are so cute, aren't they? But you know what? The only reason I wouldn't use her, it's me again with the thinking about the way they'll be facing. It looks more inclusive if they're facing in. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm going to go for the little one that's on the swing. So we'll get her out. And the cutest little swing. I just need to be very careful that my small pieces don't blow away. Because there's just a little breeze come along. And let's just cut that wording out. So there's all these little sections to it. See, there's a little word love there. Hello from Australia. Gracie, do you know what that music is? Do you know what that music is? It's very strange. Maybe it's someone's phone. It sounds like Mario music, it does. So we're going to go here. So she's going to stretch round, but she is facing forward. She's facing the front of the box, which is what I like. I might cut a bit of her swing off, perhaps, so we don't lose her wings too much. No, that's going to be lovely. Okay, so let's get this one on its side here. So I'm actually going to wrap this one around the top. So whereas I started on that edge, Erin, shucks, you're late. Never mind, never mind. Because she's a bit broader, I'm going to start right at the front. But uh-oh. Hopefully, yeah, it might keep blowing off.
Where was it?
Don't worry, just pop it down because the sun's moving round, so sure. I think we'll be okay. That's it. Thank you, helper.
Hey.
Just get that lined up. And I'm going to do the same principle using my... I'm going to get that bit stuck down first so that I've got something to work on. We're going to do the same thing with the grooves, working from the front to the back. her little feet, all the way down to her tippy toes. I'm trying to look at the time. Gracie, can you go and get your ballet on, please? Thank you. Yeah. This one might be a little bit more tricky because I'm working on 2 sections until I get to there. Catherine, hello from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hello from San Antonio in Texas. Hello. Make sure we've got all of that rubbed down. And her toes. There we go. They're just so delicate and vintage, these fairies. They're quite sort of different. They're not like a really baby fairy. The details in them, they've got a very definite vintage feel, don't you think? Abigail, multitasking. Oh, from Oxfordshire. Hello, that's not too far away from me at all. Multitasking, always multitasking, checking what the time is so that we can get the ballet run done. Because this half-term ballet has changed the time slot, of course. And what is everybody else doing today? Have you just started your day? Are you coming towards the afternoon like we are here in the UK? So it's just coming up to 4:30 now for us. Revived Vintage Eden. Hello from Eden, North Carolina. I'm just trying to hold this and get her done. There we go. Can you still see what I'm doing there? Yes, you can. Laurie, you're working. I think you quite often work through my live, don't you? Wink, wink. BHEP, where are the fairies from? So this is the Fairy Flowers small size transfer from Redesign with Prima. So once this video is posted onto IGTV, I will add a link that you can find a retailer if you haven't already found one. So you can find one that's close to you. Okay, let's have a little look. But these little small ones are brilliant. They really are good. And they're fun to, you can layer them just like you can the bigger ones. In fact, they layer really, really well. And they're just, I mean, you still can use them on furniture, but they just means you can do these little practice pieces if you want to start using transfers, but you're a bit nervous. Brilliant. Laurie, yes. Yeah, you're always watching. Hello from Berkeley. Maureen Queen, thank you. It's cute, isn't it? It is cute. And we're nearly there on the next side as well. There we go. That's all pulling up. A little bit there. These transfer tools are really good, particularly for grooves. And because the ends are a little bit thinner, so let me just show you. So the stick's sort of vary slightly in thickness, but if you can just see, there's not much in it, but it makes the world of difference when you're trying to get into sort of smaller, narrower gaps and round, you know, drawer fronts with insets and things. Beetle bug falling out of the tree above me. Okay, She looks super cute as well, doesn't she? You'll stay inside and paint today, Diana. Jamie from South Africa. You're going to do your first transfer tomorrow. Great. Which one are you using? So she's cute, and you know, they can talk to each other because they're facing each other. I love it. Love, love, love. Let me get my burnishing cloth. So I like to use a little microfiber cloth. We talk about burnishing. Really, we just mean once you've removed your top sheet, you give it another rub over. And it's just to make sure that all of your, the colours are cute as well, aren't they? I think they just work really well with the transfer, the paint colours. So it's really just to make sure that all of your adhesive, all of your transfer has made contact. I'm getting a little bit of cracking, don't mind a little bit. I just didn't want it to be really big cracks all the way through. And cracking can happen because of those grooves. So I'm just running over, making sure that the edges particularly are all stuck down. Because if you do get air underneath, that's when your transfer can start to lift. The lovely script from Redesign, lovely. Really nice. Is that the gold one? I think that's the gold one, isn't it? I like that one. Gracie lost a big tooth at school today, and it fell out while she was running around the playground and they couldn't find it, so she was a little bit upset when I picked her up this afternoon. But she had one fall out yesterday as well. So the tooth fairy's coming anyway. It's good, isn't it? Okay, so I'm just going to do that little tulip, switch over, make sure there's anything here. Particularly in this warm weather where my hands get a bit stickier, I find the microfiber cloth works better for me. And if there's any areas that you just aren't quite as flat as you'd like them, then it's another way of helping you rub those down. And it gets rid of the if anyone's ever heard of the phrase halo, we've seen it in any posts, that's the edge of the adhesive. So the adhesive goes out printed further than the transfer design, and the halo is the adhesive that you can see. But if you burnish well and then top coat well, it pretty much disappears. Okay. Jamie, yep, on a big kiss, bit nervous. Love the fairy on the swings. It's cute, isn't it? Let's get some flowers and things going on. So what else have we got on here that we can use? Yeah, there's some really nice flowers. There's a couple of little cute butterfly, mothy type butterflies. I think we're definitely going to go. There's a couple of words. So there's one that says love. There's believe. There's dream. That's nice. Love is a bit brown for what I want. Those flowers are perfect. So there's all lots of different bits. I'm going to use these, not these ones, because I don't like the background for this project. So I like those. Those we'll save for later. That's a cute cluster of flowers. So I'm just going to use these here as well, somewhere, with a cute sort of arrangement and a little butterfly moth on there. See, I'm going to start with the placement of that, I think. Let's have a little looky. We've got under the lid to do as well. Might pop something here. Maybe a flower kind of on that corner would be quite cute. That looks really sweet. Let's pop them on there. Pop them there. You can see the reflection of my tree. There's my tree above, look, you can see. So I had a vague idea of where my main fairies were going to go and roughly which ones I was going to use. But all of these is a bit more random as to where I'm putting them and decide to go with them. because there's quite a few of these little flowers in the section. Flower sections, sorry, in the transfer. And I've got these nice sort of wild rose looking ones. Abigail, you thought they all looked a bit dull and brown. I think it's what you put them with to make them pop, really. I just think they've got a real vintage thing going on. I mean, equally though, I think they'd look really beautiful against a vintage cream. And that might brighten them up a little bit for you, perhaps. Vivi, hello from Italy. So they're quite cute little additions. Vila Mary on Instagram. I'm going to have to try and... I'm not sure what that says because I can't. So do you think... Hello, Helen. So Abigail, do you think that... Have you changed your mind a little bit seeing them now on this colour? Or do you still think they're a bit brown? Let's have a look. Where are we going to put this? I love this little cluster. Susanna, hello from Singapore. Ros, they have a bit of a sepia tone to them. Yes, agreed, they do. And that's that vintage. Sepia is exactly the right description though, yeah. Let's see what that is. That's a piece I haven't used yet. Oh, there's a bit, look at this, even the tiny little daisy. Just so pretty. I'm not sure about this actually. I might come back to that. Love the cluster, but I'm not sure there's actually a space for it to work. So I'm going to start looking at maybe some little pieces on the drawers. I think I'm going to go, that's cute. I think I'm going to kind of create a little cluster of my own. She's cute as well. Where's that one? Concentrating, cutting out all my little sections. There's so many little pieces to kind of decide from and build up together. So we've got some flat surfaces with our drawer fronts. So it's whether they're going to work. Let me lay it down. Can you still see what I'm doing? Yes, you can. Okay. So these ones look like they've been dried flowers, you know, like pressed flowers. Just so cute. I might stick them, what have I got? Stick them like that. And I have got my drawer fronts are separate, so I'm going to have to cut through that. That's fine, that's not going to be too difficult. I brought my handy dandy craft knife with me in case. So I'm just going to cut through that gap there. So that's the start of my little flowers. Just remember they're being lovely pops of colour. So we're just starting to layer these sort of wild flowers on now as well. I'm going to use this, again, it looks a little bit almost like it's a pressed flower, like a dried pressed flower, which is rather lovely. I'm going to build a little cluster down here. We're just building up there. You see? Cute, isn't it? Let's see how we're doing for time. Oh, we are doing good. We are. And I've got this really, really sweet little white flower. Not sure what that is. Maybe an anemone. Can't say the word. And that needs to go up that way, I think. Pop that there, that looks cute. Nice, I like that. That's really sweet as well. Okay, what else have we got? I am going to put in, I'm going to put a little word in somewhere as well. I might put that on the underneath. I've got dream. I quite like the dream. We decided against hello. We've got dream, shine, hello, love. I think this tones in nicely with the colours that we've got going on. It's the most natural sort of green, I think. I'll just pop that down here. I need to make sure I've got that level. Let me just... There is, Jamie, there is a little rabbit. Yeah, that's the little rabbit that's down on the bottom there. I think you might be right. I'm just going to trim that edge because it's getting in my way. Oh, that's cute. So I can bring that back up again now I've placed it. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't going wonky. Sweet. Little rabbit, little rabbit. Let me think. Let's have a little look. I'm not sure. Maybe down here would be cute. The problem is, it's me and the OCD situation. I want the rabbit facing the front of the box. You love these. Glad you use these. Couldn't decide to carry, but you've changed your mind. Ah, okay, great. So really, where I want the bunny is kind of somewhere here, but we've filled that space up already. And the OCD in me, when I put it over there, it doesn't feel right because the bunny's facing out. It's that thing in my head again. So I'm not sure we'll use the bunny right now. I know it's wrong, but we have got another little cute fairy with a daisy. So what did I use on the inside of the doors? I used, I don't know where it's gone, there it is. I used a decoupage paper, so let's just hold it open for you to see. Tried to pick one that was sort of relevant and tonal, sat back nicely with the, like we said, the sepia tones in the transfer. So this is called Botanical Imprint. Yes, imprint. So that's on the inside of the doors, and I will use it to line the bottoms of the little drawers as well. But I'm feeling like our little fairy could maybe, because she's sort of on, let me do that. She's sort of on her tippy toes. So she could look like she's hovering. So I'm feeling like she could maybe go, I don't want to get in the way of the little handles. That's the only thing. Maybe she goes over here. She could go there. There we go. I'm going to pop her there. She'll fit there. My tool. So I wanted it to sort of look like she's handing a daisy off to somebody there. Oh, it's gone ever so quiet. What's the time? She's gone to ballet. It's the little things, isn't it? I'm back to just hearing birds instead of the trampoline bouncing. So I'm just going to cut through that little bit of daisy. That wraps around there. Get my cloth to burnish. Press everything down. It's starting to look more and more girly, isn't it? If that's a good thing. I can see Gracie wanting this one. She's already said that she thinks it's amazingly beautiful and pretty, so we'll just have to see. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there with the transfers for now. And I thought we'd do some little extras with wax. Joan, it would be wonderful if Redesign with Prima would find a way to make these possible to apply to ceramic and glass and then heat set them. Oh, so you could be used and washed. Yes. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's tricky because of the sealing situation, which would obviously mar the finish of anything that's shiny. So yeah, it would be cute, wouldn't it? I love something. Yeah, my daisy's stuck. There we go. So I'm just going to get these transfers out of the way. And then I've got the little handles to put on. I've got some waxes to play with. I've got my tub of wax. Let's get those out of the way. Okay. So we've got this. That was close, wasn't it? We've got this, the drawers don't stick. They don't stick. Yeah, so we have, I'm going to put my hands there now. We have this lovely mould to highlight on the top. So I made this with fast cast resin. So those of you who've seen Amazing Resin, it's the same, it's basically the same, but it's a more local brand for me here in the UK. So I am leaning towards the good old faithful eternal, but I have got, I think that's going to be too vibrant. I want something sort of, I did get a dusky pink one, but I can't remember if it's in here yet or not. There it is, shabby pink. This looks like it could be quite perfect. I'll get my brushes, so I'll put them down somewhere as well. Now where all my brushes have gone, these ones are good. These will do. If you wash the waxes out of your brushes pretty quickly, they actually do wash out quite well. So I'm going to use a bit of the pink because I've not used this yet. It's going to be quite similar in tone. These aren't metallic ones, these are matte finish. So I will just pop a bit back of my hand. Can you see? So it's very matte. But I think it will just add another level of dimension through that mould. Now what I'm going to do is turn it the other way so that I don't have to hold on to the drawers, I think. Yes, that's better, isn't it? I'm going to pop it on the back of my hand to use in my brush. So I'm just dabbing because I just want to add more dimension. It's really, it is subtle. It's got quite a purple sort of lavendery tone to it actually, but that's cool because my paints are more pinky, so it is showing up quite nicely. You see? And I'm also sort of going to buff it and blend that out a little. And you can do that with your fingers once you've got into your nooks and crannies. Or you can use another brush. So kind of one, almost like when you're blending paint. One to apply and one to blend. Let's just get another one here. So it's almost like you're just buffing it off and, like I said, like blending it out, taking the excess away. Cute. It's So it's really giving it quite a nice chalky looking finish. Which I'm quite just adding another level of dimension. I'm just going to dry brush almost across some of those details too. If you're sensitive, I would recommend wearing gloves. I'm not particularly sensitive, but just be careful when you're putting these products onto your fingers. Some people can just be sensitive to there's nothing nasty in it, but some people are just more sensitive than others, like my husband. And you see, I'm just using like an artist brush, only because I have got the lovely Redesign with Prima wax brushes and the dabbing brushes, but they've all been washed yesterday and I forgot to bring them out with me. So I'm just going back to that one to just sort of blend it through. Remove the excess. That is pretty, pretty, pretty. Put a little bit more in those, a couple of those crevices. And then I'm going to get the Eternal and do the highlighting. Because I think some little touches across. I'm just going to apply this with my finger. This is, if you buy this now, Eternal Decor Wax, it's in tubes. So this is a tub. I've had this for ages. It is running low. But they do go far, these products. So I'm just putting a little bit on my finger. For some reason, I always end up using this finger. I don't know whether I feel like I've got more control. I don't know. But I'm going to just pop that and highlight all of the tops of those, of that mould. There's the curlies. And just be light of touch. I don't want this into the nooks and the crannies. I want it highlighting the tops. It's where all the curly bits are, it's where all the details are, and that's what I want. I'll put a bit more on that piece there, and that bit there. And you can build the strength and layer. You see, this is where I started, not very strong, and then up here, much brighter. Much more of a pop of the gold. Looks really pretty and princessy against these pinks and that, what's it called? Shabby pink matte wax. Really, really pretty. Jennifer, isn't it looking cute? So let's turn it back round. How I'm feeling like gold along the edges as well. So let's just go for that. And again, I'm being light so that it's catching the high points. There's three kind of raised high points on this trim around here. I'm trying not to force it into the grooves. I want it to sit and highlight the top. See? Yeah, cool. And let's see where else I'm going to go. I'm going to come a bit further down on that actually. There we go. That's better. I'm going to go around the edges here. And it's almost just to create like, you know, like a frame, like a vignette to all those edges, almost just to give it that vintage sort of look. Again, we're all about layering up for the vintage. So can you see on the edges of the feet there? It's just subtlety, but pink and gold, I mean, can't really go wrong with a bit of pink and gold, can you? Let's turn him around. Those edges. Just keep going around there. Keep going onto these edges. Okay. Cute, hey? Should we go down? Yeah, I think we'll go down the front edges. And I'll just turn it to me for a second so I can see what I'm doing. And then the other reason that I really wanted to use this Eternal is just to add a little bit of a pop onto our hardware, which I haven't shown you yet. Susanna, it's cute, isn't it? So these vintage jewellery boxes are always worth a look. But like I said, I've not exactly picked an easy one with all these ridges and things, but you can see how actually it's not a problem. So I have here my little hardware. So these are for the doors, these little drops, 2 of those, and then these are the handles for the drawers and the fake drawer at the top. So they're already just, do you know what, I'm not even going to say they're brass, they're probably cheap Chinese brass, they'll just be a faux brass. And so that's where we are now. Let's get a bit closer to the camera. And again, I'm just going to pop a little bit of Eternal onto my finger. You see? And I'm just going to highlight, so it just brightens up those high points. So let's give you a before and after. Subtle, before, after. You ever see? And this will cure overnight. You don't have to top coat. You might want to do it on these handles because they're going to be used a little bit more because it's jewellery boxes and they're going to be kind of pulled around. Because they're so small, you might want to just use a spray sealer. I would say is probably the easiest way to deal with these. So that, and then there's the little drop. So that's the before and that's the after. So we're not looking for complete coverage. We want to highlight so that the shading and the low points stay dark, and then you get the definition. Cute, hey? So these ones, I'm just gonna, let's get these popped in. And of course they're little flowers, which work perfectly with our theme. Cute. So we're getting towards the end now. I think we've done well. So we've used fairy flowers, the small transfer. Let me just get that packaging again. Give you a recap. There's the fairy flowers small transfer. These retail around, I think they're $12.99, around about that price. Whoop. We have got the botanical imprint decoupage paper. I've not even used half of one of these, and that's what I've used to go inside. Yeah. We've got the Tilden Flourish on the top. We've gone with the Shabby Pink Matte Wax, which has got a little lavender tone, but we've kind of added some more... Oh, look, I did it again. To add some more depth around our little mould. And we've used Eternal to then stick all the gold bits on and do the hardware. So these are going to... I'm not going to screw them on with you now. It'll be fiddly. But there's going to be our finishing touch. Jennifer, you think it's going to end up in Gracie's room? You might be right. Who knows? Who knows? And we've added some little bits here. I might add to this. I haven't 100% decided. And these bits I haven't stuck down yet. but I just use, you can use a top coat to get them in, or I've been using the soft matte gel, which works really nicely. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. If you haven't already hooked up with a retailer, Instagram, I'll pop it into the description once it's posted to IGTV. Everything you'll need is on Facebook in the description as well. So you've got a retailer link to find retailers, anyone in the UK that wants to buy these products, and there's also a link for US and Canadian customers to buy and support me. I'm Nikki from Gracie's House. I've really enjoyed showing you this jewellery box, and I hope to see you again next week. Thanks guys, bye.